Hi everyone, it's Sam here. I just want to highlight this book. It's called 33 Strategies of War, an international bestseller by Robert Greene. One of these strategies is in the chapter, The Diplomatic War Strategy, Negotiations Whilst Advancing. Let's be fair here and all recognize conflict is an unpleasant affair, but it is in our nature to move towards getting what we want. Because what we want may be at a detriment of the people around us, but sometimes we just need to move. So there is a great lesson here. I'm just going to read this out word for word. The great British diplomat and writer Harold Nicolson believed there were two kinds of negotiators: warriors and shopkeepers. Warriors use negotiations as a way to gain time and a stronger position. Shopkeepers, on the other hand, work on a principle that there is more importance to establish trust, to moderate each other's sides, demands, and come to a mutually satisfying settlement. Whether in diplomacy or in business, the problem arises when a shopkeeper assumes they are dealing with another shopkeeper, only to find out that they are facing a warrior. It would be helpful to know beforehand the kind of negotiator you face. The difficulty is that a skillful warrior will make themselves a master of disguise. It will firstly seem that they are sincere and friendly. Then they will reveal their warrior nature. When it is too late, in resolving a conflict with an enemy you don't know well, it is always best to protect yourself by playing the warrior yourself. Negotiate while advancing is one of those strategies to protect yourself. There is always time to back off when you push things too far, but if you're a shopkeeper, do not fall prey to a warrior, as there are more and more warriors in this world. You must be willing to wield a sword as well as have the heart of a shopkeeper. So I want to highlight that I've always played nice. I've always dealt with things in a very cool, calm, and collective way. I see myself as a shopkeeper, but in any negotiation, because I know I am negotiating for the people who stand behind me, I need to advance whilst negotiating. That is why in the war of business, and of course in blockchain, I always show myself as the shopkeeper. But negotiating whilst advancing means I get these kind of trophies. What is this? It is a legal opinion, positioning what we are doing as something that is, within the current framework of the law, completely legal. I always start on this point because this allows me to pay tax. And when I do pay tax and you struggle to understand and pay tax, you are already on the back foot. I want to help everyone who is with me. I want to help push out the filth and the idiocy from this industry. The days of those people's time and energy within the blockchain crypto ecosystem is limited. They will still be around, they will still exist, but they will be relegated to the far reaches of the outer rim. I am here to help regulators regulate. I am here to help tax collectors collect their fair share. And I am also here to help you in the process of making so much money, make it in a regulated, fully transparent way, as well as be in a strong position to negotiate whilst advancing, because all of you guys, after making your money, will be paying the taxes owed to whatever regulators are demanding it. This subsequent video that will be played is between myself and my good friend Sean from South Africa, who has assisted me in creating this legal opinion for VIDILOOK, and of course through this sets a precedence to create legal opinions for many other opportunities in the blockchain space. Thank you again.
Right, so I think, so let me just do introductions then. This call's been kind of put together because a number of months ago, I flew to Dubai to go and I had the pleasure and privilege of meeting Sam, checking out the offices for VIDILOOK. But at the same time, I actually met Sam in some lawyers' offices, and we then sat with the lawyers to talk about the legal opinion of VIDILOOK. And since that time, I've been involved very much. Well, I say very much. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal guy, but I've been involved in toing and froing messages from the guys who have been doing the legal opinion, who are some really high corporate lawyers in Dubai. And that legal opinion has now been produced. I think it's about an 18 or 20-page document on VIDILOOK and how it operates. So I think we just wanted to have this call, Sam, just to have maybe some questions, or just really talk about how why a legal opinion? Why is it important to have a legal opinion, and how we can utilize that with VIDILOOK and moving forward. So Sam, over to you.
Great. I just want to thank everyone for their attendance. I really need this recorded to give the community an understanding of how I operate, you know, what goes on up here. And so we've got Sean, who has been instrumental with his time whilst he was visiting in UAE and helping understand and break down the business model for VIDILOOK to the lawyers. And of course, through that process, I would have hundreds of opportunities that we'll be launching, which will further require Sean's assistance. You know, once you go through the process once, it's easier to go through that process again and again and again. And that's why, you know, it's so important for us to go through and do a legal opinion when we start something that is new, okay? The reason being is we need to analyze the risks that involve regulators. The regulatory risk is one of the biggest risks in any company, okay? You one day have a really profitable business, and then bam, tomorrow they change the rules on you, and unfortunately, you can no longer operate, or you operate in a much tamer structure because there are certain things you can and can't do. So a legal opinion ensures that we have forward visibility of the regulatory landscape. Okay, that's how I've always built my businesses, and that's why all my businesses have been successful. Okay, the key word here is successful. Now, what do I define as success? Success is where we're able to operate, make money, to evolve as the regulatory landscape changes, and continue to operate. Okay, just like oh, let me just get rid of these sunglasses. Just like a person, you know, before we take any kind of medication, we first get a full body scan, a diagnosis, right? We need to know what is up with our body, how it's playing up. So um, we have a great business model. We will continue to create more business models, all right? And Sean has assisted me in making sure that this business model has ticked a couple of key boxes to allow us to continue operating. So the final legal opinion is 11 pages. If we submit, if we remove a signature from a law firm at the end, it's actually 10 pages. So this 10-page document is from BSA, which is a tier 1 law firm in UAE. I invite you guys, once you guys travel through here, to come to their office, have a cup of coffee, and understand how amazing the legal infrastructure here is for us to do bigger and better things through this wonderful country. So the legal opinion basically covers off all the regulatory risks and how to manage them. Okay, but to know where the risks lie is only the first part. Okay, you could read about where the risks are through just reading the website of the regulators. You know, that's not hard. Anyone can do that. But how to manage risk is where a law firm gets involved. And it is important from day one that there's that level of engagement. So from here on out, the 10-page, well, if we include the signature of the 11-page document, allows us to manage the risk and evolve the business as the regulation changes. Okay, because I always said innovation happens faster than regulation, and because regulation eventually does catch up, we need to evolve the business further to continue innovating, to continue staying a couple steps ahead of the regulation, but also within the regulatory framework to ensure that we are maximizing the outcome and profitability for ourselves and the community. Because, hey, we're in business to make money, okay? And to make money for each other, we shall. So that's just a short spiel. I'll open this up to questions because I think it's important that we get a variety of Sean's leadership. You know, obviously getting a full understanding of what we are doing and how we could do things better moving forward as well.
Awesome, thank you, Sam. I think I've got the first question. Going through, obviously, I've been involved a little bit going through the legal opinion, and do you find that document? Are we above board, or do we what's the word? Do we fall, or do we adhere to the regulation? Are we doing the right things from a business perspective?
Well, we did roll back one key feature in VIDILOOK based on the legal recommendation, which is the internal transfers. Because once you have internal transfer, that means VDL is a store of value as people are transferring it from one person to another. So once it's removed from the system and liquidated, then it's up to people whether they want to participate in it again. And that cycle creates a beginning, middle, and end. Okay. And that's what's interesting about these things, right? The reason why I emphasize beginning, middles, and ends is because when you create an end, it actually ensures that we're compliant. If money is being thrown around inside a system between users, then it marks it as a store of value. And store of value, custodying a store of value requires, of course, much more stricter licensing. So to avoid the necessity of being, held to store of value, regulation, then we just need to remove that from the system. So
Yeah, awesome.
that's what's done, and that's why we've been continuing to grow from strength to strength, very publicly, in front of a very large and ever-growing community.
Awesome, thank you, Sam. Anybody else got any questions they'd like to ask?
Yes, Sean. Hi there, Sam. Thanks for sharing this aspect of the business with us. Question from my side is, the legal opinion obviously is a generic legal opinion. How does it speak to the specific regions in terms of compliance in the different countries? Or is it just covering some of the gaps with regards to the worldwide market?
So legal opinions are issued by law firms because they take on the liability if the opinion is inaccurate. The law firms, of course, have licenses and practitioners to operate in certain jurisdiction. So, for example, an Australian lawyer might have to be recertified in order to, for example, operate in South Africa. Even though we're all under Commonwealth law, there might be some recertification requirements. This currently covers UAE law. For us to, for example, further bring a surety, then we cover more jurisdictions. But the reason why we haven't done legal opinion in South Africa is because our regulatory ecosystem for digital assets is very relaxed. So we want to get legal opinion in highly regulated environments, because that means it flows on to make sure that we are okay with more relaxed regulatory environments such as South Africa.
Thank you.
Anything else, Rodney?
No, that's all from my side.
Is there, Sam, is there scope to get regulatory legal opinions in countries like the US, who are against everything, and maybe like Europe? Is that something that you guys would maybe look at doing?
Well, the only reason you think they're against everything is because, of course, there's an anti-regulatory / anti-government movement in the crypto space. Now, I'm never anti-government and I'm never anti-regulation, okay? And the biggest thing that we all need to remember is just pay our taxes, right? There are minimization strategies to ensure that you pay less, and it could be a lot less in taxes. But the fact of the matter is taxation is the lifeblood of any society. And, that is, of course, a offense that we should definitely avoid stepping on. So as long as we're paying our taxes in Europe and USA, or wherever we're currently located in, alongside any tax minimization strategies, then it's fine. This market is still new, it's still evolving, and today is the 28th of July 2023. And I just want to say that as per the legal opinion stands, we build software to ensure that we meet those regulatory requirements.
Fantastic, thanks, Sam. Anybody else got any questions? I know for most of us. Sorry. Go for it, Mike.
This is Michael from the UK. Thank you, Sam, for being with us. I think a question for me, again, it's thanks for the document. It's an important document. I don't know how far we want to share it down the organizations, again, and just what is the process and who it goes down to, and how we really build confidence in the teams.
Well, I believe that considering the opinion is a necessary educational piece for the community, we share the document in its entirety to whoever wants to read it. You know, it's important that we not only create a successful and wealthy community of people who participate in opportunities in our space and of course generate large amounts of profit from it, but we combine that with necessary education as well, because people who make money without education often lose it back to the market again because they don't know how they've made it and they don't know how to replicate their success. So a legal opinion ensures that they understand that they are in the right for participating in these kind of opportunities. And if there are any other people who say that they're not, well, you know, they should stop listening to all these other guys stopping them from making money.
Awesome, thanks. Mike, anything else?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah.
You're good. Anybody else like to ask any questions?
There's a question in the chat. There's a question in the chat.
Just a quick thing from my side. Hi, Sam. Thank you, and it's a privilege to have you again here. I also had an honor to meet you in Abu Dhabi. Just a quick thing from my side is from the KYC perspective. If I understand it right, and you are in stable DAO and you do KYC there, do you need to do it in like VAS and all the other companies as well because it's a linked process, or do I understand it wrong?
So WAS is already linked to Stable. So you have to sign up on the Stable DAO in order for you to participate in We Are All Satoshi, and no exceptions. Yes, in Stable, we are allowing you to have multiple accounts because some programs allow you to have multiple KYC accounts for positioning and structuring. In terms of VIDILOOK, it was decided by the company to launch without KYC because it accelerates customer acquisition, because it's an easier process to go through and people don't have to go through an approval, a KYC approval process, which slows everything down. However, what it does do is it allows for a lot of markets that are untouched to be touched. And that does create problems if we're to, for example, process a buyback or other engagements that are beyond the scope of a KYC'd user. So, you know, I believe that there is a process right now in place to slowly KYC users across VIDILOOK. And the purpose of that is also to increase the value of the data that VIDILOOK holds. Again, it is a business that is a customer of mine. You know, we provide their software. And of course, in this case, Sean and I went over and made sure that we got them the legal opinion as well. But, you know, my objective now is to focus on having more of these companies in the space feeling comfortable with KYC, okay? Because you know what? If we're building a forever family in Stable DAO and we're already KYCing everybody, and then look no further. Opportunities using and leveraging a network affiliate marketing model should just stick to a Stable DAO exclusive database, because the Stable DAO exclusive database is already fully KYC'd. And that will ensure that we're not running into any more hiccups or excuses about, hey, please KYC yourself. Which, of course, you know, later down the track, halfway into an opportunity, always leaves a certain amount of people a little bit disappointed and disheartened. So we want to avoid that. We want smooth sailing for future opportunities, and that is why if we have future opportunities, just do KYC only data from, for example, StableDAO, then that I think would be great.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam. Thanks.
And I think that answers the question in the chat as well. The people are slowly being KYC'd, and we've seen that. There was obviously some accounts that got frozen for withdrawals a month or so ago, which they're dealing with, and then slowly we're seeing it as well. Slowly people are being asked to KYC, but that process is doing it through the way we're doing it now is getting a little bit more streamlined. And I think thanks to people like Susan Lawrence, those some of those things will continue to, you know, processes and systems be put in place that can speed things up a bit. So, right, anybody else got any questions?
Just one question from our side, Sean. Hello, Sam. Adrian Stephen here from South Africa. In terms of auditing VIDILOOK together with StableDAO and We Are Satoshi, does that form part of the legal process or the legal, you know what I'm trying to say, the legal
Aspect.
legality, the legal aspect?
Auditing, what do you mean by that?
Well, in terms of, obviously your companies have to be audited on a regular basis. Is this something that is continuing or something that has to take place in order to be legal in terms of the agreement?
Well, firstly, not all companies are audited. Some companies choose not to be. For example, you know, my mother's picture framing shop is not audited because it's only a three-person business, right? So auditing is a choice. However, filing your tax returns is, you know, on a once-a-year basis is not optional. so you know, that's just a reporting thing as opposed to an auditing thing. You know, audit means you're actually getting a third-party licensed financial institution to go over your books twice. Okay, so as long as you're not selling yourself off as creating audited financials, right, then you're fine.
I suppose it's also sorry, Adrian, go for it. Sorry.
So is this happening in WAS, StableDAO, and WIOS and VIDILOOK?
So it is not happening in VIDILOOK, We Are All Satoshi, and StableDAO, only because this space doesn't require it, and auditing costs money. And you know, firstly, this industry moves very quickly, but We Are All Satoshi, on the other hand, doesn't. Well, let's just say all the transactions are on blockchain, right? We have successfully in the 3 months that, well, not even 3 months that we've been that we've launched, we've purchased, I think, 140 Bitcoins, you know, on behalf of the community. So that is public, that is visible, and that is growing daily. So auditing is something which takes a snapshot of, you know, a business. And I believe once this industry matures even further to make auditing more cost effective, then everybody in this industry will begin to force themselves into auditing so that they can be held more accountable on behalf of their user base.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, anybody else got any questions? No. Okay. Well, I think we'll stop it there then. Thanks very much, guys, for joining me, and we'll see you all again. But yeah, we're just gonna wind down. We'll get the last piece. Okay, do the wind down so that I can do the wave. So guys, thanks very much for joining. Sam, thanks for joining us on the call. I hope this has been beneficial to everyone. It's nice to get a really, overview to see what is happening. So thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you guys all. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
No problems.
Thanks, Sam, and thanks, Sean. Bye, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
Sam. Appreciate it. Cheers, Sean.
Guys.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Sean. You still there?
Sean is frozen.
Is he frozen? Oh, Sean, just apologies on my